amazing third graders. I am so happy you're here for another week of online learning. Let's jump into it. For this week in reading, we're going to be focusing on fiction, and we're going to be thinking about how the setting in a story affects the plot and the problems and the solution, because there's a reason why the stories that you read, the fiction stories that you read, are in a certain setting. We're also going to be determining if the narrator's point of view is in first person or third person. So first person would be if the narrator is inside the story, like I went walking down the street and all of a sudden, bam, I saw a big bug. So that would be first person because it's I, the person, the point of view of the story is within themselves. Third person is when the point of view is from another person. So you would hear and you would read the pronouns he, she, it, they, them, and it wouldn't be about themselves, it would be about other people. For example, if the story says he was walking down the street and he was shocked when he saw a bug. Oh no! That would be third person. So you're going to think about if the fiction story that you're reading is written in first person point of view or third person point of view. For writing, you're going to be writing a personal narrative. Let me remind you what that is. A personal is about yourself. A narrative is a story. So a personal narrative that we've written many personal narratives in third grade. So I want you to think about making your personal narrative very focused and thinking about one small moment. Now that you have had so many moments in your life, so I have an idea of a few options that you might want to write about. So one that I think would be really fun to read is if you wrote about a time when you were a leader, or writing about a special family event or a tradition that you have with your family. Writing about your, a time when you were embarrassed. Writing about a day when nothing seemed to go right. So as you can see, these personal narratives could be focused on a moment that was super happy and joyful, scary, very powerful, any moment that you've had in your life. And the most important thing about a personal narrative is that you really just express yourself so much that the person that's reading the story can feel like they're there with you. For social studies, we're going to be drawing an illustration of a person or a group of people who help improve our community. Think about our community right now and think about people that are out there in our community making such a great impact in helping to improve our world. So think about one person, or it could be a group of people, and you're going to draw an illustration of them and then write a few sentences about the positive things that they bring to our community. For science, we're going to continue learning about Earth's rapid changes, and this time we're going to be adding volcanoes to the mix. So we're going to be continuing learning about earthquakes, and we're going to learn about volcanoes. For math, we're going to be looking at data and how data can be put into bar graphs and it can be put into dot plots. Bar graphs, you've had a lot of experience with bar graphs since first grade and a little bit in kinder. So I feel like you're very familiar with bar graphs, but let me remind you about dot plots, because dot plots we've created in the classroom with our test scores. Whenever we see, after we finish a test, we look at all the questions we missed, and we put a dot on the questions we missed. That way, across the class, we could see, ooh, we really need help on these types of questions, Ms. Sesher, how can you help us? Or, ooh, we were experts on these questions, we got it, we can move on. So let me show you an example of a dot plot that I'm creating right now that has to do with shoe sizes, because in my family we have all different sizes of shoes. We don't all have the same size feet. So here I've created a dot plot of adult shoe sizes, and I started at 7 and I went all the way up to 11 because the lowest shoe size that's in my adult family is 7 and the greatest is 11, so that's where I started. So in my family, there is one person with a shoe size of 7, my mom. We have 2 people with a shoe size of 8, that's myself and my sister. We don't have anybody with a shoe size of 9, so I'm going to leave that blank. And we have one person with a shoe size of 10, that's my husband. And we have 3 people with a shoe size of 11, if you believe it or not. That is my brother and my 2 nephews. So here in my dot plot, I have put the data into the dot plot to show that there's one person that has a shoe size of 7, 2 people that have shoe size of 8, none that have a shoe size of 9, 1 person with a shoe size of 10, and 3 people with a shoe size of 11. So if I asked you some questions, you would be able to look at the dot plot and determine that the greatest amount of people with the shoe size is 11. The least would be 9 because there's 0. And we could say that the shoe sizes of 7 and 10 are equal because they both have 1 person. Okay? So have fun with dot plots. You can create a dot plot or a bar graph of anything in your house. You could ask people what their favorite ice cream is. You could ask your family what their favorite colors are. You could count the cars that pass by the street and see how many cars of a different color pass by your street, and you could graph that into a bar graph or a dot plot. You can have fun with it. Okay? I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and Friday for our Zoom meetings at 10. Contact me if you need help with anything. I'm here for you, and I love y'all so much.